All right, everyone, welcome back. You guys know how we roll here. You send us the stuff you're curious about, and we take a deep dive.
That's right. We try to get to the bottom of it all.
And today, it's all about MindZoom, right? You've sent in a mountain of articles, reviews, even personal stories, all about this MindZoom software.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of you are really intrigued by it.
I think what everyone wants to know is, does it actually live up to the hype? Or is it, just another one of those things?
The age-old question.
Totally. And then there's the bigger question, too. How does subliminal messaging even work? Is it real? Like, can our brains really be influenced by messages we don't even consciously hear or see?
It's definitely a fascinating topic, that's for sure. And it looks like you've sent in a great mix of material to help us explore it.
Yeah, for sure. We've got some stuff straight from MindZoom, like their FAQs and stuff.
Which, of course, we know is going to be pretty pro-MindZoom.
Right, totally.
Yeah.
But we also have some independent reviews, some articles that look at the science behind it all.
And even some folks who are, well, let's just say they're not totally convinced.
Exactly. So we'll try to present a balanced view, right? Look at all sides of this thing.
That's the plan.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start at the beginning. What is MindZoom exactly?
Okay, so MindZoom, it's a software program, right?
Right.
And it's designed to use subliminal messages to help you achieve all sorts of goals. Breaking bad habits, improving your confidence, attracting wealth, like the whole self-improvement shebang, basically.
Oh, wow. Big promises.
Big promises indeed. And it's the brainchild of this guy, Dino F. Rualis. You might have heard his name before.
Okay. I'm getting like a Tony Robbins vibe here.
Maybe a little. Now, the interesting thing is how MindZoom actually works. It uses these 3 techniques. Are you ready?
Okay. Hit me.
Okay. Number 1, something called the affirmation delivering engine.
Interesting.
Yeah. Basically, it flashes positive affirmations on your screen, but they flash so fast that your conscious mind doesn't even register them.
Whoa. So it's like sneaking past your defenses?
Exactly. The idea is that your subconscious mind picks up on these messages, even if you don't consciously see them.
That's kind of trippy.
It is kind of trippy. Then you've got the silent subliminal messaging, and that's where they take those affirmations and turn them into sound frequencies.
What? Like hidden in the music or something?
Kind of. It's designed to be inaudible to your conscious ears. But again, the idea is that your subconscious mind is picking up on these frequencies.
Okay, getting a little spooky now.
I know, right? And then the third technique is the MindZoom subliminal mixer.
What's that one do?
All right, this is where it gets really cool. It lets you actually mix those subliminal affirmations with your own music.
Well,
So you can be listening to your favorite tunes, and all those positive messages are like layered in there.
sneaky. So you're getting this constant dose of positive reinforcement, even if you're not, like, actively using the program.
Precisely. It's like working on you in the background.
That's wild. But, okay, I gotta ask, does this stuff even work? I mean, is there any real science behind this whole subliminal messaging thing?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah, like, can flashing a word on my screen for a millisecond actually make me a more confident person?
Well, it's not quite that simple, obviously, but there is some intriguing research that suggests subliminal messaging can have an effect on behavior. There was this really interesting study at Radboud University where they exposed some participants to subliminal messages for Lipton iced tea.
Lipton iced tea, like the drink.
Yep, the drink. And guess what? The people who were exposed to the subliminal messages were 69% more likely to choose Lipton iced tea later on when they were given a choice of drinks.
That's huge. 69%. Like almost 7 out of 10 people chose the tea because of a message they didn't even consciously see.
Exactly. It's pretty mind-blowing, right?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, if it can influence something like drink choice, could it work for bigger, more complex things too?
Right. Could it help you break a bad habit or overcome a fear or finally achieve that goal you've been working towards?
It's tempting to think so, isn't it? Like, oh, if it works for Lipton, it can work for anything.
But hold on, not so fast. There are some important caveats here. First of all, that Lipton study was just looking at brand preference, which is a pretty simple choice, right?
Yeah, true.
It's not necessarily the same as trying to change a deeply ingrained habit or belief.
Makes sense.
And there's another thing, even though there is research showing that the brain does register subliminal images, even if we're not consciously aware of them.
Okay, so our brains are picking up on this stuff even if we don't realize it.
It seems like it. But the question is, how does that translate to long-term changes in behavior? Like, does seeing a subliminal message for confidence actually make you a more confident person in the long run? That's still an area where we need more research.
Okay, so we've got this intriguing study, But it's not conclusive proof that this stuff works for everything MindZoom claims it can do. But then we have all these testimonials,
Yeah.
right? Like people saying that MindZoom has really helped them achieve some amazing things.
Oh, yeah. There are some pretty compelling stories in here. Like, we've got Paul Gilbert, who claims that MindZoom actually improved his sports performance.
Really, not just mental stuff, but like physical abilities too.
That's what he says. And then there's Shannon Lard, who loves the idea of using MindZoom to counteract all the negative messages we're bombarded with in the media.
That's interesting. Like fighting fire with fires, but on a subconscious level.
Exactly. Subliminal positivity to combat all the subliminal negativity out there.
It's a thought, right? But you know what they say, you got to take testimonials with a grain of salt, right?
For sure. It's easy to get caught up in all the success stories, but it's important to remember that the people who are most likely to leave a review or share their story are the ones who had a positive experience.
Yeah, the folks who didn't see any results, they're probably not rushing to sing MindZoom's praises.
Exactly.
Okay, so where does that leave us? We've got MindZoom's own claims, which we know we have to be a little skeptical of. We've got some interesting research, but it's not totally conclusive. And we've got a mix of glowing testimonials and some healthy skepticism.
Sounds about right.
So I guess the next question is, what are the potential downsides of this technology? Like, even if it does work, are there any ethical concerns we need to think about?
That's a great question. It's something we definitely need to explore. Because even if we can influence the subconscious, does that mean we should?
Ooh, things are getting deep. We're going to dive into those ethical questions in the next part of our deep dive into MindZoom. Stay tuned. All right, so let's get into some of the concerns, right? Like the potential downsides of this whole subliminal messaging thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one big one is we just don't have a ton of long-term studies on the effects of this kind of stuff.
Right, like what happens if you're using MindZoom or something similar for months or even years? Are there any unintended consequences that we just haven't discovered yet?
Exactly. It's kind of a question mark hanging over the whole field. And, you know, it's not like you can just stop cold turkey and expect everything to go back to normal.
It's not like taking a pill where you can just stop if you have side effects. It's your brain we're talking about.
Exactly. And then there's the whole ethical side of things, right? Like, even if this technology can be used for good, you know, for self-improvement, couldn't it also be used for, like, manipulation?
Oh, that's a good point.
Think about it. What if advertisers start using subliminal messages to get you to buy stuff you don't need? Or what if politicians start using it to sway voters?
Well, that's getting a little creepy.
I know, right? Like straight out of a sci-fi movie or something.
It makes you think, you know, about the unintended consequences of any new technology. Like, just because we can do something doesn't necessarily mean we should.
Totally. And, you know, another limitation of MindZoom specifically is it's not available to everyone. Right now, it's only compatible with Windows and Mac computers.
Ah, so that leaves out a lot of people, right?
Yeah, anyone who uses a Chromebook, a tablet, a smartphone, they're all out of luck.
It's like creating a digital divide almost.
Kind of. Where only certain people have access to this potentially powerful tool.
Okay, so to recap, we've got those unknown long-term effects, the potential for misuse, and then the accessibility issues. But we've also got those studies suggesting that subliminal messaging can influence behavior, at least in some cases.
Right. And then we've got all those people who swear by MindZoom who say it's really helped them.
It's like a lot to weigh here, you know?
Yeah. It really comes down to, like, how much risk you're willing to take. Right. If you're someone who likes to play it safe, maybe stick to more traditional methods. But if you're more adventurous and you're willing to experiment, then maybe MindZoom is something to consider.
Right. It's a personal decision.
Yeah.
But you've talked about the science and the ethics, but there's still that big question, right? Does MindZoom actually deliver on its promises? Can it really help you break bad habits, boost your confidence, all that stuff?
Okay, let's dig into that.
All right, so the big question is, does MindZoom actually deliver? Does it really live up to all the hype?
That's what we're here to find out, right? I mean, like we've said, the scientific evidence on subliminal messaging is, well, it's kind of mixed.
Yeah.
But let's look at what MindZoom does specifically, right? With those 3 techniques they use.
Right, the flashing affirmations, the silent audio thing, and that mixer thing, right?
Exactly. So you've got these messages kind of coming at you from all angles.
Makes sense.
And then they've got, like, a huge library of pre-written affirmations.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Like tons of different goals they cover.
Right. Everything from procrastination to attracting wealth, improving relationships, all that.
It's like the whole self-improvement buffet.
Exactly. And that's important, right? Because you're not just stuck with generic affirmations.
Right.
You can pick and choose the ones that actually, speak to you, speak to your goals. You can even make your own custom affirmations if you want.
Oh, that's cool. So it's like personalized.
Exactly. It's tailored to you, to
Huh.
your specific needs and desires.
Yeah, because a generic I am confident affirmation is probably not going to be as effective as something more specific, right?
I mean, think about it. If your goal is to, speak up more in meetings,
Right.
you'd want an affirmation that's tailored to that, right? Like, I confidently share my ideas in meetings or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The more relevant those affirmations are to your own personal journey, the more likely they are to have an impact, whether it's consciously or subconsciously.
So it's not just about the subliminal part, right?
No, I know.
It's also about actively choosing those messages and making sure they're aligned with your goals.
That's where the power of belief comes in. Like, if you believe in the power of affirmations and you're actually choosing ones that resonate with you,
Yeah.
with your aspirations, you're setting yourself up for success,
Yeah. It's like planting those seeds of positivity.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
and you're nurturing those seeds with intention.
Okay, so I'm seeing the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
It's not just about passively listening to these messages or whatever.
Yeah.
It's about taking an active role in choosing the right messages and actually believing in them.
Absolutely. Mind Zoom can be a powerful tool, but it's not magic, right? You still got to put in the work. You got to take action. You got to make choices that support your goals.
Right. So it's more like a catalyst, I guess.
Yeah.
A way to kind of enhance your self-improvement efforts.
Yeah.
Not a quick fix.
Exactly. It's like a mental nudge in the right direction, helping you reprogram those negative thought patterns.
And replace them with positive, empowering beliefs.
Exactly. And even if the science on subliminal messaging isn't totally clear yet, just the act of consciously engaging with those positive affirmations, that can be powerful in itself.
It's all about shifting your mindset, right?
Yeah. Creating that positive internal environment where you feel empowered to achieve your goals.
And that's where Mind Zoom can maybe play a role, right?
That's like having a personal cheerleader in your pocket,
Okay, I like that.
constantly reminding you of your strengths, your potential, even when you're not consciously aware of it.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here today, haven't we? The science, the ethical stuff, the whole user experience. But in the end, I guess it comes down to, do you want to try Mind Zoom or not? That's up to each individual, right?
It is. There's no one right answer, right? It's about weighing those potential benefits and risks and making a choice that feels good for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're intrigued by this whole idea of subliminal messaging and you're looking for an extra boost on your self-improvement journey, then, Mind Zoom could be worth checking out. But always remember, it's just one tool, right?
Yeah.
And the real power, it always lies within you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No matter what path you choose, always remember to be curious, keep learning, and never underestimate the incredible power of your own mind.
Well said. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Mind Zoom. Keep those questions coming, and we'll see you next time.